Thank you very much, Ramchandra Prabhu. Before I begin speaking, I want to offer my obeisances to Srila Prabhupada, by whose grace we're all sitting here together. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Devishesha Shunyavadi Vancha Kalpatrubhischa Kripa Sindhu Vegacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavyo. So what is our schedule today, Prabhuji?
You can go however long, 45 minutes, an hour of talk, and followed by question and answers.
Okay, let's shoot for about 45 minutes and leave sufficient time for questions, discussion.
Okay.
Put my watch here. I also want to thank you for inviting me to come in this forum. It's a great honor to have the opportunity to speak with all of you. Because as you have respect for Prabhupada disciples, I have deep, heartfelt respect for all of you, because you are all the future of Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON. In due course of time, and sooner than you think actually, all the Srila Prabhupada's disciples are gone, and devotees like you, especially Ramchandra Prabhu, who've taken so much trouble to inspire the devotees and organize satsangs like this, you're all the future leaders of ISKCON. So in due course of time, sooner than you think, the entire responsibility for Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON is on your shoulders. So that is very powerful emotional experience for me, to have your association, knowing that you'll all be empowered by Srila Prabhupada to spread Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement all over the world. It's my heartfelt pranam to each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. So Ramchandra Prabhu has suggested that we discuss today the topic, remain steady in Krishna Bhakti. Is that correct, Prabhu? Ramchandra Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji, yes.
This is correct? The topic is remaining steady in Krishna Bhakti?
Right, right. How do we remain steady, and the importance of remaining steady in Krishna consciousness?
Okay, just wanted to check with that. Okay, so before we discuss that, we should define what is steady also. Because steady doesn't mean there's never any obstacle in our spiritual life. That's the nature of this material world. We come to this material, Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, Satyam Rajastami iti guna prakriti sambhava. Nibaddhanti mahabaho dehi dehi namadiyam. That the soul, the Atma, our innermost self, is aloof from the influence of the modes of material nature. But coming to this world puts us under the rules of material nature. Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. And Krishna says in Gita, Mama Maya Durachaya. These modes are insurmountable. So it's not unusual that we experience in our spiritual life some obstacles, some setbacks in Krishna Bhakti. But steadiness means that we go on in spite of the obstacles, in spite of any setback. If we made a graph, maybe some of you you're all educated people. So if we made a graph of our progress in spiritual life, the x-axis can be our progress in spiritual life, and y-axis can be the time factor. So if we graph that, we'll see we come up, and then we come down, some obstacle comes there, we fight with devotees, or there's some sensual struggle, or some family problem, and then we come back, we make more progress, and then there's another problem that comes, we come up, we come down, we come up. The net result is that we've come from here to here. We've made progress in spiritual life because we've remained steady in spite of all obstacles. So to make progress in spiritual life, we have to also understand what is the goal. The goal isn't just to be steady. It's not something to be achieved in and of itself, a goal of it in and of itself, just to be steady. The process of being steady is to help us achieve the goal, which is Krishna Bhakti, Krishna Prema. We shouldn't misunderstand that. This is actually, as is described in the Upadeshamrita, it caused you fall down, if we practice Krishna Bhakti with the intention of just following all the rules but not understanding what is the purpose of following rules and regulations in our life. What is the purpose of remaining steady? What is the goal of remaining steady? And that is, we keep this goal over our head to become pure devotees, to become lovers of God. If I ask you, who is God? Someone will say, most of you will say, oh, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But actually we say, no, he's not God. He's Yashomati Nandana, Brajabaranagar, Gokula Ranjana Kama. He's a beloved son, Mother Joshua. He's also God. But we should understand how loving and compassionate is Krishna. How ready he is to accept the service of his devotees, and how much love devotee has for Krishna, and how much love Krishna has for devotee. He is called Bhakta Vatsal, correct? So this is an interesting word, Bhakta Vatsal. Vatsa means a calf, a baby cow. So Krishna has love for his. Krishna has as a love and affection for his devotee as a mother cow has for her calf. Previously, I was living in Bhaktivedanta village, Prabhupada village in North Carolina. And one of the cows there gave birth to a beautiful little calf. The devotees all gathered together to welcome the calf to the world. We have a garland and some tika, had a little kirtan, little go puja. So as we're doing this, the mother cow was on one side of the fence and the baby cow was on the other side of the fence. And one little dog came and approached the baby cow, the baby calf. And the mother, seeing the dog, a tiny little lap dog, came and approached the calf. And the mother cow, seeing the dog approach her calf, became completely terrified for the well-being of her calf and practically broke through the fence to protect her calf. Because mother cow has so much feeling for a calf. So Krishna is like this. He's Bhakta Vatsal. He has so much feeling for his devotee. So our objective in life is to develop love of God. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Prema Pumartu Mahan. People generally think in terms of Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Say, this is religion. Dharma, become religious. Artha, make progress in material life. Kama, satisfy your senses. And Moksha, become liberated. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu introduced the principle of Prema. That Prema is the highest objective of life. Prema Pumartha, the Panchama Purushartha, the highest objective, the highest achievement for devotee is this, the cultivation of loving relationship with God. So this is the objective of our sadhana. Not sadhana just for sadhana's sake. That we get up early because we want to be appreciated by devotees, get some recognition from devotees. I chanted my round, I was up early, I follow the rules. This is all good. But we should not forget the objective of our sadhana. The objective is this, to not stay here in this material world. Typically people think religion is for becoming comfortable in the material world. Dharma, Artha, developing some material facility, bank balance, position in society, reputation. This is not the goal of religion. The goal, actual goal, as taught by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is Vairagya Vidya, Nija Bhakti Yoga, Sikshartameka Purusha Purana. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sharira Dhari Kripam Bhujayastamaham Bhagavate. Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur said that the actual teaching of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Vairagya and Vidya, knowledge that I can't stay here. Krishna says in Gita, this world is Dukkalayam Ashashvatam. That it's a place where we experience different varieties of unhappiness, and it's Ashashvatam. We can't stay here. But the illusion of material life is we want Sukhalayam and Shashvatam. We want a place where we can always be happy and we can stay here forever. But this is an impossible proposition because life is temporary and is full of different kinds of unhappiness and different kinds of miseries must come to us in due course of time. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Vairagya Vidya, the purpose of actual religion is to become detached from this world, to leave this world, not to stay here in this world, but to leave And taktva deham purna janma naiti mamiti sarjana. Come back, go return to the kingdom of God and never come back here. And enter that kingdom that is characterized by intense loving relationships between God and Lord's devotees. So this is the objective of our sadhana. If we keep this in mind, we remain enthusiastic. Srila Rupa Goswami in Upadeshamrita gives a formula for making progress in spiritual life. He said, Utsaha nischaya dharya tat karma pavartana. Sangat jada shaturvide sadbhid bhakti prasiddhiti. He said that utsahan, first thing, be enthusiastic. And if we understand that in this lifetime, in one lifetime, we can return to the kingdom of God, we become very enthusiastic that it's possible. It's possible in this lifetime to awaken our love of God and return to the kingdom of God and never come back here. Yadgatvana nivartante tadama paramamama. Krishna says, na tad bhasyate suryo na shashanku na pavaka. Yadgatvana nivartante tadama paramamama. That abode of his is not illumined by electricity, by light, by the sun, by the moon. And having once gone there, one never returns again to this world of janma mrityu jara vyadhi, birth, death, old age, and disease. So this is the objective. If we really appreciate that, the potentiality of Krishna Bhakti, that in this one lifetime we can become loving servants of the Lord and leave this world and never return and go back to the kingdom of God, we become utsahan, very, very enthusiastic. But we should be confident. Utsahan nischaya. Nischaya means we should be confident. Faithful. Confidence and faith, same thing. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, Ashadadhana Purusha Dharma Sasya Parantapa Aprapya Mam Nivartante Mrityu Sansara Vartman. That a person who is not faithful in this process cannot achieve me. What happens? He returns to this world of repeated birth and death. So we have on one side the highest objective, returning to the kingdom of God. Other side, return again and do the whole thing over again, to be born, to learn how to, I mean, a baby can't even turn himself over. One day he learns how to turn himself over. One day he learns how to crawl. One day he learns how to walk. One day he's enjoying life and everybody's playing with him. Kuchi, kuchi, you're so cute, and want to feed and play with him. Then the day comes you have to go to school. And the kid thinks, school, what's that? I have to go to school. That doesn't sound like fun. So he has to go to school, learn mathematics, arithmetic, history, geography, English, so many things. He has to cram his head full of all these things, going to grade school, then high school. And in high school, he has to be cool, wear the right clothes, have the right cell phone, have the right friends, watch the right movies, be popular. This is a challenging situation. And then the day comes, now you have to go to college. Why college? Because you have to be something. What do you want to be? And the person may think, well, I'm me. What do you mean? What do I want to be? In other words, this means, what do you want to do to make money? This is the whole process of education. To groom a person how to make money and enjoy sense gratification. This is the educational system in the Western world. So this is an unhappy situation. This is an unhappy situation. So we should be confident that in this lifetime, we can transcend the whole system and return back to Godhead. This is the process of faith. We can go back to Godhead, or we can come back here. We can come back here as many times as is required. On one side, back to Godhead. Other side, come back here. And it's a matter of our faith, Shraddha. So someone's ashraddhana, for someone who has no faith, then they have to come back here. So one should ask, how to maintain faith? Faith is a very important ingredient in Krishna Bhakti. This also produces steadiness in Krishna Bhakti when we become faithful. So Srila Prabhupada explains that faith is created by two things, by association of devotees and by controlling our senses. Because jnana vijnana nashanam, that knowledge and realization is destroyed by lust. This is a negative effect of lust, that it destroys our knowledge, accumulated knowledge, and it destroys our realization. Sagyana Vijnana Nashanam. So we have to remain faithful in the process of Krishna Bhakti. This is the formula, and that is established by association with devotees and controlling our senses. We associate with devotees because this is the root cause. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya explains that it's the cause of our whole progress in spiritual life is association with devotees. Once, one devotee in Mayapur, in the early days, I think in 72, 73, when Mayapur was just a jungle, basically. There was nothing between the Lotus building and the yoga pit. No big buildings, no road, no pavement, just rice paddy. So one devotee, he wanted to become like Bhajananandi. And he went out and was living in the bamboo forest all by himself, chanting 2 lakhs of Nam or 3 lakhs of Nam, something like this. And and what was his objective? Just to get some respect from people. I don't want to become contaminated by this association. I just want to associate with the holy name. But he couldn't maintain, because our spiritual life is maintained in the association of devotees. This is a very, very important thing. So we become faithful when we see other intelligent, well-to-do people, thoughtful people also taking up the process of Krishna Bhakti. So this maintains our conviction, maintains our faith in Krishna Bhakti. So the third item is Daryat. We should be patient also, because it's not going to happen overnight. Can you snap your fingers and I'll be done by my decision with lust, greed, anger, envy? Is it such an easy thing? This takes time. We've been in the material world for many, many lifetimes. And in a moment, we're going to become free from the conditioning of millions of lifetimes, millions of births in this material world. Not such an easy thing. We have to be patient. Darya. Tat karma pavartana. Tat karma pavartana means we take up the process. We rise early, we chant Krishna Nam, we read Prabhupada's books, associate with devotees, visit temples. We take up all the different activities. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanavim. All the different processes of Krishna Bhakti. This is Tat Karma Pravartana. And this is nourishing our Krishna Bhakti. Because we have to do this. We can't say, okay, the goal is prema, and I will just jump directly to prema. This is the how we define sahaja mentality. That I can skip over the different processes. In the beginning, ado shraddha, there has to be some faith. And by faith, we take up sadhu sangha, we take up the association of devotees. By sadhu sangha, bhajana kriya, we take up the process. We take up the process of chanting, offering food, bowing down, worshiping Krishna, offering obeisances, serving him, serving Vaishnavas. We get initiated. This is into the same category of bhajana kriya. And then the real business, the work of spiritual life begins. Anartha nivritti, becoming free from our anarthas. Again, if we make a graph of that, we get some initial enthusiasm. We go, wow, Krishna Bhakti is so nice. We associate with devotees. I'm chanting, so wonderful. I'm initiated. I'm like a pure devotee now. But then, oh, lust, greed, anger, envy, malice, fear. So many things come in our way. This is the plateau where we have to work on our Krishna Bhakti. We have to become very serious in the process of Krishna Bhakti. So this is our whole process of sadhana, and it is most effectively practiced in the association of devotees. Of course, now in the situation in the world, we're associating electronically, which is certainly better than nothing. It's challenging, but it's better than nothing. But association of devotees increases our faith. And faith, and when we're faithful, we remain steady in Krishna Bhakti. So it's our sadhana that maintains us. But Krishna Prema is the goal. Love of God is the goal. Highest thing, highest achievement. In the Shastra, there's a nice verse in the 3rd canto There it's stated, Aho bata sapachoto guriyan yakshavarkri vartate nama tubhyam te gustapaste juhuvasasniraya brahmanucha nama granantiyete. There it's stated that a person on whose tongue, jivagri, on the tip of one's tongue, if the holy name is there, that person is an extraordinarily fortunate. He's done all types of austerity. He's given in charity. He's gone on tirtha yatra. He's done yoga. He's practiced jnana. He's done all types of activities, even if he's born in a family of dog eaters. Swapacha. Swapacha means people who cook and eat dogs. So if all of these things have been done by a person who is chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, what achievement is left for him? If he's already done yoga, he's already done jnana, he's taken holy birth, holy dip in sacred rivers, he's gone on tirtha yatra, he's studied shastra, he's done all of those things, what's left for him to achieve? What's left for him? Krishna Prema. Love of God. This is the highest objective. So keeping that objective in mind, that we're able, it's within our grasp to get Krishna Prema in this lifetime, will make us steady in Krishna Bhakti. So we have to practice, we can't neglect sadhana. Sadhana is not the goal, just to be a sadhaka, but we have to progress past sadhana. Of course, even in prema, a devotee never neglects sadhana. Like it said about Raghunath Das Goswami, whose sadhana was described as lines etched in stone, unerasable. His sadhana was so strict, but he's also experiencing love of God. He gave up everything for experiencing love of God. It said about the Goswamis, Taktva Tornameshesha Mandalapate Shrenim Sada Duchavat. They left everything. Why? Gopi Bhava Rasam Tabdilahari Go. That they're experiencing the complete ecstasy of love of God by the practice of their sadhana. So sadhana doesn't mean we give it up at any stage in our life. Even when you come to the stage of prema, still our practice of sadhana is there. But sadhana is not the goal. We hope for that day, we pray for that day when the higher ecstasy, the ruchi, asakti, bhava, and ultimately prema dawns in our heart. And this is the process, the simple process that Srila Prabhupada gave us. Rise early in the morning, chant your japa, control your senses, associate with devotees, read books, infuse your mind with Krishna Lila. Because if we don't spend time reading something about Krishna, how will we remember Krishna when we're chanting japa? Then it becomes just a mundane affair. Our mouth is moving, our fingers are moving, and we're pulling beads down. But where is our mind? Our mind may be millions of miles away. Are we thinking of Krishna? Are we thinking about work, about family, about so many things? Gita says, Yato yato nishtadati manaschanshalam astiram tatastata niyam yaitad atmaneva vashamnaya. One has to bring the mind back from wherever and whenever it wanders to. One should bring it back under control of the self. And this is the process of japa. To hear and chant, but also remember. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. If we're hearing and chanting properly, we're chanting Krishna and we're remembering Shyam Sundar Krishna, his beautiful reddish lotus feet, his Pitambara Dhoti, his Vajayanti garland, his Murli, his Venu, his beautiful hair, his Kundala, his turban, his peacock feather, his mercy, his kindness, his power, his beauty. We focus on these things. Our mind jumps from one feature of Krishna to another feature of Krishna, instead of from one material situation to another. So this is the process of japa. Not just our mouth is moving and we're pulling down beads. Our fingers are moving, the beads are moving, and our mind is millions of miles away. So we have to practice this remembrance of Krishna by chanting his holy name. And this will give us, in the course of time, Krishna Prema. Because the fruit of Krishna Nama is Krishna Prema, no other thing. The fruit of Krishna Nama is Krishna Prema. Krishna's name is called Chintamani. Nama Chintamani Krishna's Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. Purna Shuddho. Nitya Mukto Vinatam Nama Namino. The name of Krishna is Chintamani. It's like Chintamani. You can get material prosperity from the holy name. You can get fame. You can get bank balance. You can get family happiness. Whatever you want, you can get from the holy name. But this isn't the goal of the holy name. The goal of the name is Krishna Prema. There's a nice story, probably you've heard, about Sanatana Goswami. He was keeping one Chintamani stone. The nature of the stone is that whatever it touches will turn that object to gold. It can turn iron into gold. So one person came, he heard that Sanatana Goswami had this Chintamani gem, wish-fulfilling gem, touchstone. And he said, he came, I heard you have this stone. Can you please give it to me? I want this, please give to me. He said, yeah, it's over there. It's in the corner there in that heap of dust and trash. You can have it. So the person very eagerly took the stone and ran away. Then he began to think, if this stone is so valuable, why is he keeping it in the trash? So he came back to Sanatana Goswami and asked, if you're keeping this in the trash, such a valuable thing, what is it that is more valuable, that makes you reject such a valuable thing as Chintamani stone? He said, okay, but before I tell you, do one thing, take this Chintamani stone and throw in the Jamuna. So the devotee, he threw the man, threw the stone in Jamuna. Don't go looking for it, by the way. He threw in the Jamuna and came back and asked Sanatana Goswami, so what is it? What is that thing that surpasses all other blessings? What is it, that thing that will fulfill all of my desires? What is that thing that will make me eternally happy? Sanatana Goswami said, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram. This simple thing, just chanting Krishna's name. Srila Prabhupada said one time, because some people think that the process of Krishna Bhakti should be very complicated, it should be difficult, it should be austere, it should be challenging. And he gave an example. He said in homeopathy, they give you some little sugar pill to cure your disease. And you taste it, oh, it's like some sugar pill. How can this? I want bitter medicine. Then I feel like I'm making progress in my health. I'm curing my disease by bitter medicine, by fasting, by so many things. He said, no, just by sugar pill. So in a similar way, what is our process? Kevala Ananda Kanda. Our process is Bhajo Bhajo Bhai Chaitanya Dedai Sudhida Vishwasa Gauri. That we just worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with faith. We chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. We take prasadam. We offer respect to devotees. We read Shastra. Such a simple, joyful process. Kevala Ananda Kanda. It's the path of unalloyed spiritual happiness. Even materially, we have very, very happy life. One time, my esteemed godbrother, His Holiness Badri Narayan Maharaj, was giving a Sunday feast lecture. And someone challenged him. He said, this Hare Krishna stuff is all bunk. It's all false. It's all useless. It's all illusion. There is no Krishna. There's no holy name. This is just food you're eating. And people are just carrying or dancing, carrying. For what? So Maharaj, very intelligent devotee, said, okay, for the sake of argument, let us say there is no Krishna. That Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is just a song. And this is just food, ordinary delicious food. So he said, for the sake of argument, let us agree. So if there is no Krishna, then I'm still happy. I love my life. I'm eating most delicious food. I'm singing, I'm dancing, I associate with good-hearted, friendly, compassionate people. I love my life, even if there's no Krishna. And if there is Krishna, then I get the highest benefit. I'm going back to Godhead. And you, my friend, are in deep trouble because you reject all of that. So even from the material point of view, our life is very, very nice. We eat nice prasadam, we chant Krishna name, we sing, we dance, we study Shastra, we engage our mind in the most profound study of religiosity on the planet, the most profound study of religion known to man on the planet. as we find in Bhagavatam, Upanishads, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Gita. This is the most profound religious literature available to human society. How fortunate we are. So we have wonderful life. Kevala Ananda Kanda. But we just have to take it up. And this is the promise of Shastra. That nice verse in Shastra. Tatenu kampam susamikshamano gunjana evakma vigam vipakam. Tadvag bhavubir pridadam namaste. Jivata yo bhakti pade. Sadhyabhak. Dhyabhak means that it is our birthright. It's our inheritance, you can say. It comes to us just by taking this process. Tatenu kampam susamik, by earnestly endeavoring, earnestly praying for anukampartam, mercy from the Lord. Then His mercy comes in due course of time. And whatever obstacle comes in the meantime, between the practice, the time we take up Krishna Bhakti and the time we achieve success in Krishna Bhakti, we have to tolerate. Susamik Shamana. We have to tolerate that, knowing Atma Kritam Vipakam, that whatever difficulty comes to us is a result of our own past activity. That we've created those obstacles in our life by our own past sinful or pious activity. So we tolerate that, knowing that in due course of time, the result of our austerity, result of our practice of Krishna Bhakti will come to us. This is called our inheritance, Daya Bhak. Sridhar Swami comments on this verse that just as a person who has inheritance coming to him from a wealthy father, all he really needs to do is stay alive. One day the father will expire and that inheritance comes to him. So to achieve that, really all he has to do is stay alive. So for us, we simply have to stay alive in Krishna Bhakti by chanting, by hearing, by practicing our sadhana, and in due course of time, that inheritance, that great wealth of Krishna Bhakti, love of God comes to us by this simple process. It doesn't require big austerity. It doesn't require sacrifice. What are we actually sacrificing? We're sacrificing our unhappiness. Materialistic people think that this process of sense gratification will make me so happy. But it drags them down further and further and further into unhappiness. And this is a sad state of the world. They work hard all day long, all week long. And what is their happiness? Go to the bar, shake their body, act like a fool, poison their body, put all untouchable food stuff inside their body. And this is what you do for happiness? That's all you have? That's all you can do? That's all you get for your hard labor? It's such a sad situation. And that simply drags them down more and more and more. Urdham gachanti sattasta, madhya tishtanti rajasa, jaganyaguna pritistadadho gachanti tamasa. Activity in the mode of goodness, we become happy, satisfied. We become peaceful. We're not always harassed by material desire. Madhya tishtanti rajasa, by rajagun, we want to be the best, the most powerful, the biggest. Do what I say, buckle under, I'm the boss, listen to me, I'm important. This is all Rajagun. And Tamagun, all untouchable activities, all nasty activities that drag adhogachanti tamasa, that drag a person to hellish life. So we have nice life in Krishna Bhakti. We just have to take it up. And more than take it up, we should also propagate Krishna Bhakti. We're not meant just to enjoy this for ourselves. That I've got this nice life, I've got a nice, pleasing lifestyle. I'm going back to Godhead, let the rest of the world go to hell. This isn't the example set by our acharyas. It's certainly not the example set by Srila Prabhupada, who sacrificed everything to come to America, to leave Vaikuntha, to leave Goloka rather, Radha Damodar Mandir in Vrindavan, the center of the spiritual universe, Seva Kunj. To leave Seva Kunj and come to the Lower East Side of New York City? Inconceivable. Try and understand what Lower East Side of New York City was like back then. Drug addicts, prostitutes, alcoholics, drunks, Prabhupada had to step over people that were completely unconscious by drinking to even get to his apartment. And who came to serve in the early days? No one came. And what was their qualification? No qualification. Even for 1 year, Srila Prabhupada never even mentioned these 4 rules. For 1 year, he never mentioned, just come and chant. He said, I'm prepared to serve meat and wine, but let them come and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This is the sacrifice Prabhupada made. Practically, he left his body coming across the Jaladu. Freezing cold, New York City. I don't have to tell you, you live in New Jersey, most of you. What is the winter? And Prabhupada was wearing what? Dhoti, kurta, little Prabhupada hat, rubber shoes, white rubber shoes. What kind of austerity he did? He would stand in line to use the bathroom. Oh, excuse me, Swamiji, I have to go to the bathroom. And he'd butt right in front of Prabhupada. He had to stand in line. And in the beginning of ISKCON, at the first initiation, Prabhupada collected all the money for buying bhoga. He prepared the feast. He offered the feast. He prepared the fire sacrifice, performed the sacrifice at the first initiation. And then he asked the devotees, they didn't even know, they just accepted Guru, and they don't even know to bow down, to offer their pranam to their Guru. They've accepted initiation from him, and they don't even know just to bow down. So he said to them, bow down. Brother Malati tells this story. And the fire, the sacrificial fire was dwindling. Prabhupada was telling them, bow down. And the devotees looked at each other like, what did Swamiji want? What's this? Bow? Oh! They began to blow on the fire. They thought he wanted them to blow on the fire to make the flames come back. What did they know? What did any of us know in the Western world coming to Krishna Bhakti? What did Prabhupada have to work with? This austerity he accepted to bring Krishna Bhakti to the world. Nirvishesha Shanivari Paschatya Deshatarani. He delivered the world, especially the Western world, that's filled with impersonalism and voidism. So this is the example that Srila Prabhupada set for all of us. You know, when traveling preachers come to our societies now, there's a waiting car, there's a flower garland, there's prasadam, a comfortable place to stay. So we should appreciate all of that facility comes as a result of Prabhupada's austerity, Prabhupada's sacrifice. So we should follow in his footsteps. Naivo Prahlad said, Naivo DJ Paraduratya Vaitaranya Stadvirya Gayana Mahamrita Bhakta Chitta Soche Tato Vimukha Chaitasi Indriyartha Maya Sukaya Baramud Bhakto Vimuta. He said, I don't have any problem. I'm chanting, I'm worshiping. At the end of my life, I'll cross the entire material creation, Vaitarani River, enter the kingdom of God. I have no problem. But I have one big problem. Soche Tato Vimukha Chaitasi Indriyartha Maya Sukaya Baramud Bhato Vimuta. My heart bleeds for these fools and rascals who think the objective of life is sense gratification, who want to stay here in this material world forever, thinking they can stay here in this material world forever. This is my unhappiness. So this is also, should be our unhappiness. And inspired by that, we should try and bring other people to Krishna Bhakti. And it is a thankless task. It is a thankless task. Not thankless in the sense of the appreciation we get from Lord Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu especially, but from the public to think, who are these guys? Crazy guys. That's the nature of this world. You come to Krishna Bhakti to think you become mad. What do you mean you don't want this, you don't want that, you get what? What's wrong with you? This is the objective of Krishna Bhakti. Not just to become happy in Krishna Bhakti ourselves, but to bring other people to the fold of Krishna Bhakti. We're Paradukka Dukhi, Kripam Buddhi. Devotee is by nature merciful. He wants to see other people become happy. want to see the whole world become happy. So we organize groups like this for this purpose. Ramchandra Prabhu and so many devotees are organizing satsangs. We should try and bring more and more people into this wonderful process of simply chanting Krishna Nam, learning the process of doing little puja at home, offering your food, offering little diya, dhupa, naivedyam, arati, doing little puja at home, reading something about God, and making one's life meaningful. Because without Krishna Bhakti, what is the meaning to life? There is no meaning. What have we achieved at the end of life? When there's one man, he was a huge, important banker, billionaire in Portugal. He owned the largest bank in Portugal. This happened recently, and he caught this coronavirus. So he's got billions of dollars. At the last moments of his life, he's struggling just to breathe. He's struggling for a lungful of air. Air is free, but he couldn't even get air. His billions of dollars could not help him at the time of death because he can't buy one lungful of air with his billions of dollars. What is the meaning to life if we neglect Krishna Bhakti? If we neglect this wonderful process, and if we don't share it? What kind of devotees are we if we don't share Krishna Bhakti? So if we have this feeling, this inspiration, then automatically we become steady in Krishna Bhakti. We practice, but we understand the goal. The goal is not just to be acknowledged as staunch devotees, as sincere sadhakas. Sadhana is the beginning. There's more than sadhana. We want prema, and it's within our grasp in this lifetime. So please, you're the future of Srila Prabhupada's movement. I'm very indebted to all of you because you're taking this process so sincerely. Many of you will have, you are having great impact in the world, and that will also increase the more you continue in this process. So follow Srila Prabhupada's example and save your fellow men. Especially many of you are fortunate to have taken birth in India. In America, people will listen to you. They think, oh, this person's from India. They know something about yoga, about reincarnation, vegetarianism, gurus, transcendental meditation, yoga, all these things. They'll respect you for that. Take advantage of that. And bring your associates, the people that associate with you, that respect you for being outstanding members of society. Bring them to your satsang. Bring them to Krishna Bhakti. Because they're just waiting. Every soul is just waiting for the day they meet a devotee. Because each of us, if we look, we're in this sangha because someone approached us and said, take this mantra card, take this book, take this prasadam, visit our temple, come to our satsang. We're in Krishna Bhakti by the grace of some other devotee. So be that devotee for another person. Be that devotee who changes another person's life and bring them to Krishna Bhakti. And that taste is irreplaceable. Nothing gives any happiness like this taste. And this, more than anything else, will make us steady in Krishna Bhakti. When we taste the happiness of Krishna Bhakti, taste the happiness of Krishna Nam, by sharing Krishna Nam, by sharing Krishna Bhakti, sharing Prabhupada's books, sharing our satsang, giving our association. This is the purpose of Prabhupada's ISKCON. He didn't create ISKCON to be a self-serving society, just to increase for the sake of increasing, but to increase for the sake of the welfare of human society. And that responsibility is all coming to you sooner than you think. So please remain steady in Krishna Bhakti and make progress in your life and help other people. Don't just be satisfied with your own progress in life. That I'm steady, I'm a good sadhaka, I chant my japa, I follow that. That's all good. But there's a higher principle. Help other people. And this will attract mercy from the Lord, who agrees to give himself to his devotee. Because we're waiting for that day. Krishna Bhakti is not, the process is not mechanical. Srila Prabhupada explained in one purport in Srimad Bhagavatam that the mechanical process of hearing and chanting will not give the desired result. We're waiting for mercy, anukampartam. Tesham anukampartam agyanajam tamanashinyat bhavasto gyana dipena basrata. We're waiting for that day that when the transcendental torchlight of knowledge removes our ignorance by anukampartam, by mercy. How do we attract Lord's mercy? By being merciful to other people, to extending ourselves, to sacrificing our time and energy to help other people. And that is the responsibility of every member of ISKCON. That is the example Srila Prabhupada showed, and that is our responsibility also. In this lifetime, how many devotees can you bring? How many people can you bring to Krishna Bhakti? How many people can you inspire in Krishna Bhakti? This is the success in life. Not just, I'm a strict sadhaka. I do my japa. This is all good. But help other people. This is what it means to be a devotee. And this is what it means to be steady in Krishna consciousness, steadily endeavoring for the goal of Krishna prema that will come to us, especially by helping other people. So I think I'm out of time. I hope I said something that is helpful to you. If anyone has any comment or question, I can try and answer your question. Does anyone have any question?
Can you talk, Ramchandra Prabhu? Oh, no. Meeting setting.
Thank you very much.
Who's the admin?
Yeah, I think now we can hear you, right?
Okay, now I can.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for a wonderful talk and thank you for laying that foundation. I would say that it was yourself and devotees from your times who laid this foundation for all of us today. Can everybody else unmute? I think there's still devotees who are on mute. Can everybody else mute?
Yes, Prabhuji, now they can mute themselves.
So what I was saying is that thank you for laying that foundation, because if the foundation wasn't laid in the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, then we wouldn't be here doing what we are doing today. And as you mentioned earlier, one thing that struck me was that you love you have a lot of love and affection for your God brothers, but especially for those, the next generation who are taking this movement forward. And at least I myself see that how can I give back to the devotees who have laid the foundation, like yourself, is by carrying forward this movement. And that is the only thing that inspires us to keep doing these programs, because it's like my family. My father worked so hard to develop a business, and then I just completely let go. Don't help him.
Good example.
Help the family. Yeah. So here, Prabhupada and all the disciples have done so much, including our spiritual masters. And if we ask you all, what would you like us to do? I'm sure all of you will say this one thing, that please take this movement forward. Don't let it go wasted. So that is the only thing that inspires me especially to continue doing, despite of many other challenges, despite of being tired at times. But that, I think it's more not even a desire, it's a duty that we have to. There's no other option. There's no other option. Thank you very much. And I just wanted to share that. If anybody else has a question, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, Prabhuji, this is Kanan Prabhu from Rochester. Sarva-drik from the Dhanvat Pranam. I don't know whether you remember me. I met you in Richmond, Virginia with Divyanam Prabhu.
Okay. I met lots of devotees there, but yes, I was there.
Yeah. So with Mataji and you came there and you gave me a Tulsi Mala. I still have that Tulsi Mala.
Are you using it?
Yeah, but right now I don't have it. Sorry. It's itchy though. So very nice. Thank you, Prabhuji. My question is about being steady. You mentioned about Prabhuji. So we go through these illusions, right? Illusions mean at work when you come out and then you are okay, Krishna consciousness. But when you go to work and they are all Rajasic people, right? How do we handle them?
Actually, in America, more tamasic than Rajagun is there, but more tamagun in America. When you think
Okay.
of what type of activities, they're drinking, eating meat, all these nasty things. So one has to be, Krishna says, the Padma Patram Vambasa, that you be like a lotus. Lotus can grow in the most filthy water, but it maintains its beautiful fragrance, its pristine beauty. He's in the water, but not of the water. So we have to maintain our internal meditation and appreciation for our own lifestyle, who I am and where I'm coming from, and not associate with them. That doesn't mean you don't talk to people. Doesn't mean that you're have an attitude, holier than thou attitude. That means you just appreciate the beautiful lifestyle we have, and don't become friendly with them, because what will they ask you to do? Let's go drink. Come on, it's Friday. Let's go party.
Mhm.
This is the saddest thing, Prabhu. They have nothing else to look forward to. They go to the bar, they drink, they eat some nasty thing, they shake their body. This is all they have to look for, and they want you to do that with them. So we have to be like lotus flower, Padmapati. Just we're in this world, but we're not of this world. We belong to the Krishna's world, Krishna's entourage, Krishna's family, Prabhupada's family. We belong to that family, not their family. We can never be part of that. Oil and water, you can't mix them. You can shake them, but they'll always separate. We're different. Even I was working in one company. I was a goldsmith working for a company, a Shane company in Denver, Colorado. I'd been there about 2 weeks, and one guy comes up to me, and he'd found out that I was a vegetarian. He said, "I knew there was something weird about you."
Okay.
And I thought to myself, thank God. Because these guys, they eat anything, they do anything, they'll do any sinful thing to gratify their senses. So thank God I'm different. Thank God I'm weird in your eyes. It's Prabhupada's mercy I'm weird in your eyes. Because you're very weird in my eyes. And what was this man's name? His name was Scott Pig. P-I-G-G, Scott Pig.
Okay.
And anyway, we weren't talking about,
Yes.
we don't want Scott Pig.
Same thing about Prabhuji. I take my lunch at work. When I open the box, they all bring non-veg. You know, we all had to sit in the same table. It's kind of awkward.
Very awkward.
Yeah.
And they eat something. I experienced the same thing at this place. It was a big, expensive jewelry store with millions and millions of dollars of inventory. So they had high security. We all had to eat lunch in one room.
Mhm.
So they put something in the microwave and come out of the microwave and you want to vomit. It's
Oh,
some
yeah.
carcass of some animal that's 300 years old and frozen and reheated, and it's such a disgusting smell. But
That's
if you
true.
put puris and sabji, puris
Mhm.
cooked in ghee and sabji, think, what is that horrible smell?
Right.
This is the influence of modes of nature. There's a story Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur told when devotees opened the temple under his guidance in Thailand. In Thailand, they eat something called naki.
Mhm.
Naki means they take all dead animals and they put it in a barrel, and it
Wow.
ferments and rots, and all this juice comes out the bottom of the hole, and they save that in a bottle. And on special occasions, they put naki in the rice. They think this is the most delicious thing. But when the devotees were cooking puris and ghee, oh, what is that horrible smell? That smell is such a horrible smell. This is laws of nature. So we should observe and count your blessing that you're not part of that. Padma Pattami Vambasam. You're in it, but you're not of it. We can never be part of that lifestyle.
Sure, sure.
Well,
Thank you.
and the other thing is that that situation in your life will change. It's not forever. I worked in the world for 20 years in different circumstances. I was fortunate to work with Vijay Bhai, my brother from another mother.
Nice.
So we did some business together also. Such a great soul. So we worked in business in many different circumstances, and some of it's so challenging because you have to. I used to travel with the gemstone company out of Jaipur. These Patarwalas from Jaipur. They're Jainis. They do business all day and they drink all night. So they come on up and they have big bottles of liquor. They're half empty, big, huge bottles of liquor. Hey, please take. I said, no, I don't drink. No, come on, please. What don't you understand? What part of no don't you understand? I do not drink alcohol. Okay? No, okay. Then you become like the black sheep. I'm happy being the black sheep, being a white sheep, in the vision of my spiritual master. So we have to be aloof from these things. Many challenging things will come, but the point is, the day will come when you're done with it. Many of you are working devotees, but the day will come when you're retired. Then what will you do? When your children are married, your business is settled, you're financially stable, you're retired, what will you do? Please think, where do you want to be in your spiritual life when you're like in your 30s maybe? I'm 67. Where do you want to be when you're 30 years from now, when you're in your 60s? What do you want to be doing? Think over this very carefully and prepare your life for it now. Read Prabhupada's, not just read Prabhupada's books, study Prabhupada's books with the intention that it will be my responsibility in due course of time to preach Prabhupada's books, to teach what I learned. So organize your life in this way also. And in this way, remain aloof from negative association. Internally absorbed. Externally, hi, how are you doing? Friendly, but internally, nothing to do with you people. Because how can we?
Right.
We have nothing in common.
Thank you, bro. Have you moved to Mayapur from Prabhupada village? I mean, I remember you and Mataji had a house in Prabhupada village.
Yes, we were living in Prabhupada village 10 years. It was a good life. We were growing our own food, all fruits and vegetables, flowers for puja, water from a well. We'd heat our house with wood in the wintertime. It was a good life, very sattvic lifestyle. But there's more important things in life than being happy in living in nice sattvic.
What about other devotees in Prabhupada village, your neighbors? Are they doing good?
They're okay. The community is fractured in many ways. More than half the devotees have left, actually, because of politics. This is the negative thing Prabhupada warned us about. He said, nothing can stop us from outside. No external influence can stop us. But when devotees quarrel, when they fight with each other, when they're envious of each other, when they're not the well-wisher of each other, this can stop ISKCON dead in its tracks. So we should be the well-wisher of devotees. When there's a birth in someone's family, when there's a promotion, some financial windfall, a new car, a new home, we should be happy for devotees' happiness. And if there's some death, some unhappy circumstance, loss of a job, we should help the devotees. Our hearts should bleed for the unhappiness of our God brothers, God sisters. So this, if we practice this, people will line up at our door to join ISKCON.
Great.
Just completely. Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam. This movement is for Paramahansas. Who is a Paramahansa? Who has no envy for other people. So the unfortunate circumstance in this community is so much backbiting, envy, just mundane competition. And that was there, but it was also just time for us to move. We'd always thought to come to Mayapur. So we're fortunate to be here. And God bless the whole world.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you for a nice question.
Anyone has a question?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. Am I audible, Prabhuji?
Yes, I hear you.
Thank you so much for wonderful tips on steadiness and Krishna consciousness. By your permission, I would like to request if you can share some of your initial meetings with Prabhupada, like one of the very first meetings with Prabhupada. How was your reaction? How do you meet him? And some of those things.
Okay. This I can share that because, not because of me, but because it's instructive for all of you. I joined ISKCON when I was 20 years old. I was just a boy. And it was impossible to get close to Prabhupada. Devotees came down from Portland, Oregon. I joined in Portland, Oregon. Dinabandhu Prabhu, my exalted, esteemed godbrother, by whose mercy I'm still practicing Krishna consciousness, was the temple president. He took us all to Los Angeles to see Srila Prabhupada. When we arrived, I went in the temple to take bath and walked up the stairs, and thinking it was a bathroom, I walked right into Prabhupada's room. Srila Prabhupada was standing there chanting japa. He said, yes. And I was very shocked to see Srila Prabhupada standing there. I said, Hare Krishna. And I closed the door. Probably the stupidest thing I did my whole life. Srila Prabhupada saying, yes, I could have asked him, you please bless me. I have some question for you. Please accept my obeisances. I was shocked to see Srila Prabhupada standing there. And that was my personal association with Prabhupada. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastikoi, Lavamatra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhikoi. Lavamatra means 1/11th of a second. My personal association with Prabhupada was 1/11th of a second. I didn't have a personal conversation with him. I saw him many places. I saw him in Los Angeles, in San Francisco, in Mayapur, Vrindavan, Delhi. I saw him several places. But I never had personal conversation with him. I never had personal instruction from him. So how am I going on? By his Vani. By his Vani. Vapu was there. Vapu means bodily association. Many devotees that had extensive association with Srila Prabhupada are no longer active in Krishna Bhakti at all. Because they thought they developed mundane understanding of their Guru. Vapu association. Prabhupada said in Bhagavatam that one should be very careful associating intimately with Guru and with the deity. So many devotees fell away because they only had mundane conception of Guru. Vapu association is temporary because our body itself is temporary. But Vani is eternal. As we're hearing Prabhupada's instructions here, we'll also hear in the kingdom of God. Chakudhan dilo jay janme janme Prabhu se. So he is our Lord, birth after birth. We're serving Krishna under his guidance. Here, we're serving Krishna under his guidance there in the kingdom. So my assuming the words of my spiritual master, the words, instructions of the spiritual master are not different from the spiritual master. Now, my association with Prabhupada's Vani is equally available to you. Every time you open Prabhupada's books, listen to his tape, see his video, you're getting Prabhupada's association as much as I am. So reflect on that. You want Prabhupada's association. It's available to you. If we were to hear that Prabhupada was going to be in Vrindavan, the whole world would come to Vrindavan for Prabhupada's association. I can ask questions, I can serve him, I can touch his feet, I can do some personal seva. The whole world would come for Prabhupada's association, bodily. That's not available anymore. But our association with Prabhupada is available any moment, every time we open his book, anytime we put his tape on to hear his lecture, anytime we see his video, and when we're serving him, pushing on his mission. This is association with Prabhupada. So don't think that, all those Prabhupada disciples, they had so much mercy because they had Prabhupada's association. You also have Prabhupada's association anytime you want it. Open his book, do some seva, push on his mission, and you get Prabhupada's association, and you get Prabhupada's mercy. So what was my Lavamatra association? What is the meaning? What is the meaning to that? Compared to trying to serve him with my whole life. What is important? The life is important. The Vani is important, not the Bhakti. Please reflect on this. Is that helpful to you, Prabhu?
Very nice. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for sharing this experience. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Haribol, Mataji.
Yeah. Can you hear?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. Yeah. I just want to ask, my question is actually related to the question that was asked earlier. You mentioned, about planning and leaving things on, that we plan our life in such a way that, our entire life is devoted to Lord Krishna. So now my question is, how far should we plan our life? Because many times we hear that, oh, we should leave everything to Krishna, and once we are surrendered, Krishna will take care of us in any condition we are. So then how much effort should we spend on planning our life
That's a
and
very excellent question,
to
Mataji.
Krishna?
See, both things are true. It's what we call in English a paradox. Both things you stated are true. We should plan, but at the same time, we have our destiny as ordained by the Lord's will. So both things are there. We can hope that the two meet, that our plan is Krishna's plan, correct? But our plan may not be Krishna's plan. But we fold our hands and we accept whatever plan he has for us. But we should plan. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would always say, we are going, like for example, we are going to go preach in Dhaka, if the Lord wills. Lord willing, we will go preach in Dhaka. We are going to travel to Simachalam, if the Lord is willing. So he would always qualify his plan by saying, if the Lord is willing. So in our life also, we should make plans. We should think how I have to make plans for my daughter's wedding, for my son's education, all these different things we have to plan for. But we should also understand that everything will happen automatically in the course of time due to the time factor by destiny. So we plan, but we understand Krishna's will is there, side by side. We have destiny and we have some free will also, but they exist side by side. For example, if you're on a train from Delhi to Calcutta, you're on Rajdhani train, you're in your seat, you found your seat, the conductor's come, he's taking your ticket, the train has started, you're going from Calcutta to Delhi. The train will go. This is destiny. Within the context of destiny, you have free will. Will you look out the window? Will you read a book? Will you talk to your friend? Will you eat something? Will you take a nap? Within the context of destiny, we have free will also. So with our free will, we should try and make plans. How will I serve the interest of the Lord? But we should understand that destiny is there also. We get to do what the Lord allows us to do. It's something like in football, I think there are 11 players in football? So there's 11 people on the field kicking the ball, and there's people sitting on the bench, correct? People are sitting on the bench waiting to go onto the field. You just can't run onto the field and start playing. You have to be called onto the field. But to be called onto the field, one has to be qualified to play. So we maintain our sadhana, we maintain our spiritual desire, we pray to be engaged in Lord's service, but we have to wait until we're called into his service. Another example. This example was given by my esteemed godbrother, Janani Vasprabhu. He said, it's your birthday, and there's a knock on the door. You open the door, and it's your best friend. He's standing at your door, and he's holding something behind his back. You know it's a present. It's your birthday. He's your best friend. He's hiding something. You know it's a present, but you can't say, give it to me. You have to wait for him to say, I've brought this for you. I brought you a gift. So our progress in spiritual life is something like that. We have to remain qualified. We have to make plans. We have to follow our sadhana. But we have to wait for mercy of the Lord. We have to wait to be called into the game. We have to wait to get that priceless gift of the opportunity to serve in Krishna's entourage. So both things are there. They're not contradictory. We should make plans, but our plans are always qualified by understanding Lord's will is supreme. Does that help you, Mataji?
Yes, thank you very much.
Anything else? Vijay Bhai?
Prabhuji,
actually
thank you
have-
very much.
Uh,
Okay, go ahead, Mataji. Yeah.
sorry.
go ahead.
I actually have
No,
one
no.
more question if there is time.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Yes.
Prabhuji, you mentioned about Tattenukampa Susamikshamino, right? So,
Yes.
so we are in that, when we are in that situation, and we are like just performing our devotional service, and still whatever suffering is, or whatever reactions are misdeeds, we are just tolerating that. But then when how do we like practically apply that in our life or practice that, because we still have all the attachments, right? So then in spite of that, how do we do that and follow that?
We should understand it. One thing is that we should understand it philosophically. For example, if you go to a movie, devotees don't do movies much, but we've all been to movies. You go to a movie, what is a movie? It's light on a screen, correct? And there's some music, there's some sound. It's light and music and sound, light and sound, basically. But by light and sound, you see people becoming very fearful. You see people crying. You see people laughing. But what is it? It's just light and sound. They go, what's this movie? Kalho na ho, right? And people are all crying in the theater. Oh, he loved her so much. They couldn't be together. It's a complete illusion. They're actors. This never happened. It's an image projected on a screen, and there's some sound. But people cry. They take it as reality. So in a similar way, the events of our life, what is the reality in relationship with our soul, with our Atma? If there's a financial setback, if there's a problem in the family, if there's some health issue, all these things are in relationship with the modes of material nature, with matter. Krishna explains in Gita, this body is earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intellect, ego. Aparayami tastamyam prakritim vidhime param. Jiva bhuta mahabaho dididam dayate jagat. We're the soul. We have nothing to do with this world. But we take it as it's happening to me. And we cry, or we laugh, or we become irritated, we become angry, we become depressed. It's a movie. It's a dream. So if something's unhappy happening in a dream, if you're being chased by a tiger in your dream, is the solution to run from the tiger in the dream, or to wake up from the dream? If we wake up from the dream, there's no more tiger, there's no more unhappiness. So we should understand this philosophically. That's one thing. Is that easy? It's not an easy thing to actually put into practice what we know to be true because of our mind. Mind is creating so many fictitious impressions, illusory impressions of what's important in life. But we should at least understand philosophically and try and wake up from the dream. That doesn't mean that if there's some problem, you ignore it. We do our best to maintain our life, to do the best we can in life. But we should understand that basically the whole thing is a dream, because in due course of time, the whole dream is over. And that is a fact. We have to give up this body. Then the dream's over. And what did it mean? That I was crorepati. I was so wealthy. I was a PhD. I was a CEO of Tata Company. What did it all mean? Because when death comes, it comes for you exactly like it comes from rickshawala. or beggar on the street. You may be Mr. Ambani, Mr. Birla, Mr. Tata, but they die just like rickshawala. You can't take one needle with you. You can't take one paisa, nothing can you take with you. So why do we struggle? We should struggle for Krishna Bhakti. We should struggle for something that's meaningful. Neha Vikramanashosti Pratyavayo Nivindite Salpamapi Siddhamasan Trayate Mahtamay. That this is our real asset. This is our wealth. Krishna Bhakti. These other things are like a dream. So we find them disturbing, certainly, but inside, be internally absorbed and don't be so disturbed when things happen in a negative way, and don't be so joyful, elated when something positive from the material point of view happens. Chaitanya Charitamrita says this is all manu dharma, all mental, ascribing happiness or distress based on material situation. It's all manu dharma, mental illusion. So remember that, focus on that, and that I think will be helpful for you. I hope.
Thank you very much. Yeah, very, very nice.